The steel prison doors closed with a heavy clang as Marcus Reed, a new inmate, was escorted into the housing unit. He carried a small box of personal belongings and quietly followed the correctional officer. Marcus kept to himself. He wasn't looking for trouble. Across the room, a notorious inmate named Travis watched the newcomer with a smirk. "Fresh face," he muttered. When the officer walked away, Travis stepped closer. "You're in my unit now," Marcus said calmly. "I'm just here to do my time peacefully." The tension grew. Travis suddenly slapped Marcus across the face, trying to provoke a reaction. Several inmates looked over. Marcus took one step back. He didn't raise his fists. He simply looked at Travis and said, "I don't want to fight." Travis laughed. "What are you scared of?" An older inmate quietly whispered. "You should leave him alone." Travis ignored the warning. "You don't know who I am." The older inmate shook his head. "No. I think it's you who doesn't know who he is." Before anyone could say more, a correctional officer noticed the confrontation and immediately intervened. "That's enough." The officer separated the two men and escorted them to different areas of the unit. Later, during intake interviews, another officer reviewed Marcus's file. He looked up in surprise. "Wait. You're Marcus Reed, the former national boxing champion?" Marcus nodded quietly. "I was." The officer closed the file. "Well, let's make sure it stays that way. Your athletic background doesn't change the rules here." Marcus agreed. "I understand." Across the room, Travis overheard the conversation. His confident smile slowly disappeared. He realized the man he had tried to provoke had once been a professional fighter, and had still chosen not to fight back. To be continued. The next morning, word had spread through the housing unit. The new guy used to be a boxing champion. Some inmates expected Marcus to seek revenge. He didn't. Instead, he kept his head down, attended his assigned programs, and avoided conflict. Later that day, Travis approached him in the recreation yard. "I thought you'd come after me." Marcus shook his head. "I spent years learning when to throw a punch. The hardest lesson was learning when not to." Before the conversation could continue, a correctional officer reminded both men to keep their distance. Over the following weeks, Marcus volunteered in the prison's fitness and wellness program, where inmates could exercise under staff supervision. When the program coordinator learned about his boxing background, Marcus was invited to demonstrate safe training techniques and discipline, not fighting. One afternoon, Travis quietly approached him again. "I owe you an apology." Marcus looked at him. "You embarrassed me." Travis lowered his head. "No. I embarrassed myself." Marcus nodded. "It takes courage to admit that." The two men shook hands under the supervision of staff. Months later, Marcus became known not for his past titles, but for encouraging younger inmates to stay focused, avoid violence, and prepare for life after release. At a graduation ceremony for the prison's education and vocational program, the warden addressed the group. "Real strength isn't measured by who you can defeat. It's measured by the choices you make when anger gives you the opportunity to do harm." The audience applauded. As the ceremony ended, Travis quietly thanked Marcus one last time. "You could have answered violence with violence." Marcus smiled. "That wouldn't have solved anything. I'd rather be remembered for the person I'm trying to become than the fighter I used to be." And from that day on, the story people told wasn't about the slap. It was about the moment a champion proved that the greatest victory is often the one that never becomes a fight.